your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, a deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Sandy's enjoying those summer breezes and beaches, and, well, she'll be back next week. But What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee, handcrafted, homegrown, world-class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. I'm Libby Collins, in for Sandy, and we've got quite a show lined up for you tonight. Just you wait till you hear who's here in the studio with us. But before we do anything else, I want to turn to WTMJ's Elizabeth Linton. And now, Elizabeth, you have been in the courtroom this week for the Maxwell Anderson trial. And a little while ago, you came in the newsroom, and obviously this is a very emotional situation, not just for the family of Sade Robinson, but for anybody who's in that courtroom. And you had an experience. I just want you to share it because it shows how personal things can be when you're in a situation like that.
Yeah, of course. So it was right after the part of the trial. So they did a portion of the trial today where they showed all of the clothing items that were found in her burned car, and they held them up one by one as evidence. And it was a really tough moment, because it was the outfit that she was last seen wearing. And so it was really tough, especially for her family. And the media sits right behind her family. After they did that, they took a short break with the jury, and I stood up and I was talking to another reporter that was in the room. And her grandmother came up to talk to the other reporter. Sade Robinson's grandmother came up just to speak to the other reporter, just to say hello. And I figured that because I'm there, I was there on Tuesday, I'll be there all next week, I'm really following this. I figured I should introduce myself, just while she was standing right there. And I went to introduce myself to her, and I went, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth," just not even as a reporter, just as a person, because it was really tough. And I just said, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth." And she pulled me into a hug. And it was kind of a really long hug with her grandma, and I just wasn't expecting her to hug me. And also, Maxwell Anderson was still in the room while this was happening.
Standing just a couple feet from you.
Well, I mean, yes, essentially, more than a couple feet, but he's the last one to leave the courtroom pretty much whenever they adjourn. Mm-hmm. And so he's still in the room at this time, and I'm standing couple feet from him, and I'm hugging her grandma, and it was a really surreal moment, and I felt a little emotional after because it's tough.
I can imagine, but it just goes to show how personal something like this is. These aren't just people you read about in the newspaper or see on TV or hear about on the radio. These are real people involved, and you are there in the courtroom. As you said, you were there Tuesday, you're there today, you're there all next week, and you'll be bringing us these stories.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets personal when you're in a situation like that.
Yeah, it is personal to sit right behind her family and to watch their reactions as things. I watch everyone's faces when things come up, and you get so wrapped up in the news and the objective hard facts of it or whatever, but then you're sitting behind someone's grandma as they hold up their granddaughter's jeans.
One last question before you leave, because as you said, you're observing everyone, including the defendant, Maxwell Anderson. Mm-hmm. And it was emotional today. Mm-hmm. There were those articles of clothing as well as other evidence that was presented. What was his demeanor?
He's very stoic. He's very stoic for most of it. There were moments today where he got a little more fidgety and a little more maybe chatty to his attorneys than I've seen him. He's been very stoic and quiet throughout most of it, but I will say that he got a little perhaps restless today, especially when they showed some videos of her car driving to the place where they found it. And so he was getting a little more restless.
And allegedly he was in that car.
Yes, allegedly he was the one driving that car, and she had unfortunately passed at that time. And so when they started talking about that, he got maybe a little fidgetier, but overall very, very stoic, very quiet, no reaction, very blank slate face.
Elizabeth, you are our reporter on the scene, mm-hmm. and I know you're going to be bringing us so many stories and experiences. And thank you for doing that. Thank mm-hmm. you for sharing this today.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, if you can go to our website, WTMJ.com, and we've got the courtroom activity going on as it happens as well.
We do, yes.
But you're bringing us the stories afterwards. Thanks, Elizabeth,
mm-hmm.
for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Libby.
And I'm Libby Collins on What's on Tap. Sandy Maxx off tonight. It is 6:12. And boy, what a show we've got lined up for you today. little later on, we're going to talk about jazz in the park and some of the acts you're going to see there. We're also going to talk about Wisconsin Bike Week. But coming up in just a couple of minutes, I cannot wait. We have the daughters of the Crusher. And this weekend is the 4th annual Crusher Fest. We're going to be talking to you about that, telling you what's going on, and getting stories about their dad from the daughters of the Crusher. It's all I had on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. The big focus in America today is on your health, right? So why aren't you feeling any better? Your knees always hurt, your shoulders keep you from exercising, and you're done with all the pills and the steroids, and you cringe at the thought of surgery. You've done everything, but the pain is always there. It's exhausting. This is when you got to call QC Kinetics. It's revolutionary treatment. It works to give your body long-term relief. Regenerative treatments takes your body's own healing power and helps and restore your damaged tissue. Call QC Kinetics today and get yourself a free sit-down. Talk to Dr. Justine Bennon. She's great. I've met with her. You can walk through the process with her. She explains it in a way that's understandable, and she can do the same for you. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today and get your life back. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Here's to the farm and fleet dads, the ones who take pride in a job well done, the ones who make the most of every moment and still take the time to pass it on. At Blaine's, we're here to make this Father's Day special with gifts for one-of-a-kind dads at prices that'll make them proud. Like $5 off assorted Dickies work pants and get $160 combined savings on a 52-inch Craftsman tool chest and cabinet combo. Find the value you need to make this Father's Day special. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ. You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Brian, our producer Brian Kelly, picked Just a Little Crush for our intro into this segment. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy Maxx on What's on Tap. And joining us in the studio are the daughters of, yes, indeed, the Crusher. We have Dawn Lazowski and Sherry Brzezowski right here with us. And Dawn, Sherry, first of all, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for asking us.
This is the 4th annual Crusher Fest.
Yes.
And it's happening this weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday. Where's it going to be?
Pardon me?
Where is it happening?
Oh, it's happening in South Milwaukee. It's on 11th and Milwaukee.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Peggy Clark is also going to be joining us by phone to talk about some of the things going on. But I have to ask you first. I got to ask you about your dad. Because I know you have a lot of memories about him. And did he talk much about wrestling at home?
Well, I mean, he was gone 300 days most of the time out of the year. But he would come and tell us where he was or what happened, or, if he was in a huge stadium with him and the Bruiser, wrestling against the Vachons or something like that, and he'd come home, black and blue, stitches everywhere. And, he'd be like, well, how did that go? Well, there was so many people. That's what he was worried, thinking about, the number of people and that were there. It was very exciting. He did talk about it.
When he first started, he was sometimes a villain. Did he like being a villain, or did he want to play the baby face, the hero, the good guy?
I think in the beginning he was happy to be whatever he was going to be.
Yeah, really.
But he really enjoyed being the good guy. For all of his fans. And, because when he was the villain, I mean, it was hard. I mean, they would come after him walking out to the ring. And I mean, yeah, he was a good bad guy.
Yeah, he wrestled for quite a while in Pittsburgh, and he loved Pittsburgh, but he came in as the bad guy, and those people hated him, and they backed him into a stadium with one other wrestler, and there were no cell phones, there was nothing. They were banging on the doors, and they were just like, "This is it."
Oh, wow.
I remember him telling us that story, and eventually the cops got there. And, got him out safely. But, when there's thousands of people banging on, trying to get in to hurt you. And there were some wrestlers who did get hurt, by people.
Because the fans were just so into what was going on.
So into it.
When you'd be out with your dad, did people recognize him?
Oh,
Absolutely.
God.
So when we went to dinners or wherever we were, I mean, people would always come up and ask for autographs. And my dad was one of those people who always had pictures, and he would sign the pictures, and he would also ask their name and put it on there.
We were in Disney World. You were probably 6 or 7. And he thought by going with sunglasses, a hat, and a sleeveless shirt with arms out to here, that no one would recognize him. So those seats that go around the parks that people are on, we're down on the ground, and all of a sudden we hear this, "Oh my God, it's the Crusher! It's the Crusher!" I thought these boys were going to fall out of those chairs right onto the place where all these roads were,
just out of the grounds at Disney World. What was your relationship with your dad? Did you know he was famous?
Yes, because we couldn't go anywhere, like we said, without somebody recognizing him. But yet, because he stayed in South Milwaukee, where he was born and raised, all of us were born and raised, it was a lot easier in our town, so that it wasn't such a big deal all of the time. But yeah, dinners or anywhere that we went, he was recognized. Yeah. And we were as well.
Any city, any state, regardless of where it was, they knew him.
What did he tell you about the business? How much did you know as far as what the situation was in terms of his bringing in income and what he had to do for it? And were there any sort of things that he'd come home and maybe complain about as far as the business side of wrestling?
Business, he didn't want us to know. Mm-hmm. That wasn't for us to know, the business end at all. No. That was never a discussion with us. Maybe my mom and him, but not the children.
So how much did you really know about wrestling? I mean, did you think of it as a job for your dad? Or did you just think of it as this is who he is?
We went to as many matches as we could. I'm being a little older. I went to, a few more in a few more places. But, you just sit there. And I'm not kidding you. There were times in these matches with him and the Vachons, and there was blood everywhere from the top of his head down into his
This is real
boots.
blood. This isn't pretend blood. Yeah.
And I mean,
look at his forehead. That's the thing.
The instinct is, I got to get up and help this guy. What am I going to do? I'm 5'4". I'm not going to be able to help. But you really wanted to go into that ring and help because it was brutal.
And I was young.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot more difficult for me to watch because I was so young, and it scared me. And so I didn't go to a lot of the matches when I was young.
Yeah.
But did you get into it, Dawn?
Yeah.
You were like really rooting and
oh yeah. Like I said, I mean,
would you get mad when you'd hear people around you talking to the microphone too? Did you get upset when people
say, "Oh, he isn't bleeding"? They would go to the ring and try and see if that was real blood and stuff.
Would you get mad?
Oh yeah. Or when they'd say it was fake, you just really want to, haul off and crack them one, but. You would,
and we know how to do that.
Yeah.
And showed you wrestling. Did he show you wrestling moves?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
I mean,
but we got our toughness from him. Yeah. And my mom was a little lady, but she was tough.
Yes.
My mother, Faye.
Yeah.
And they both taught us how to be tough.
We
Take
would
care of
come
ourselves.
down in the morning. Like I said, he was gone almost 300 days out of the year, but we had our bedrooms upstairs. We'd walk down, and there he would be sitting in his recliner, reading the paper, a giant Band-Aid across his face, black and blue, like humongous black and blue marks. I mean, and he never once complained. Did you ever hear him complain about anything?
No, and the thing is, too, is he had his arm broken so many times that he couldn't get his arm more than this far down.
Yeah.
And when he had surgery, they said, well, you got to extend your arm. And he said, I can't, because he never had it set. This is a tough guy.
He
wrestled with those broken arms.
Amazing. We are talking with the daughters of the Crusher. John Lazowski is here, along with Sherry Brzezowski, and we're going to be joined in just a minute by Peggy Clark. She's helping to coordinate Crusher Fest, which is happening this Saturday and Sunday in South Milwaukee. You'll hear more about it. It's all on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as two of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Pain, tingling, burning in your hand and wrist, wakes you up at night, makes life difficult. Working with your hands is nearly impossible. If that sounds like you may suffer with carpal tunnel syndrome. The problem is Medicare pays for the old open surgery done in a hospital or surgery center. And it's no walk in the park. Big incision, 6-week recovery. Imagine your hands being bandaged up, unable to use it for 6 weeks. So if you want to, you can have that old open surgery the government says to get, or you have another option, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office that can give you immediate relief in 15 minutes and you are back to your life in just one day. The Ovation Technique, only at Ovation Hand Institute. You've suffered long enough. You don't have to put the fix off anymore. Visit ovationhand.com and see the difference with your own eyes. ovationhand.com.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hey, Debbie. Southbound 794. There was just an accident. Right now, it looks like at least one lane is closed.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Highway 45 southbound. A tire came off of a car.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Northbound 41 at Burleigh. 3-vehicle accident just happened in front of me.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Sandy's off. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy. Today we're joined by the Crusher's daughters, Dawn Lazowski and Sherry Brzezowski. And also joining us on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line is the president of Crusher Fest. She's also on the Common Council. It is Peggy Clark. Hey, Peggy, it is a big, big weekend in South Milwaukee.
It is huge. South Milwaukee never sees anything like this at any other time.
Now, tell us a little bit about it, because it gets underway on Saturday, and you've got some superstars that are going to be there.
Yeah, we have quite the lineup this year. We have Tommy Dreamer, we have Tito Santana, we have Steve Kieran, we have the Texas Chain. I always forget what they're called, but the Texas Hangmen. We have Al Snow, Ken Resnick. Just a huge lineup this year, and of course, we have two amazing bands. We have Rich Rath Project 313. They were founded by the songwriter for REO and their bassist. So they were his band when the band broke up. So it's going to be a all REO night. And then, of course, after that, we have Jericho.
Wait, I'm going to stop you right there. You have the Chris Jericho, and I didn't realize he was in a band.
He's in two, actually. So he started quarantine during the pandemic, and he also has a band, Fozzy. So he wasn't touring. We initially had reached out to see if Fozzy could play, but he wasn't touring with them right now. He's touring with Quarantine. So we're going to be a stop on their tour.
And that is Quarantine with a K. Frontman Chris Jericho. It's amazing the lineup that you've got this year. And I have to bring this up, Peggy, because the Polka Mass is taking place on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And my good friend, Deacon Gary Nokasik, he's going to be there for that. And tell us a little bit about that Polka Mass and why it's so important to have that.
Well, I think, as the girls can attest to, Crusher is really all about family, about his community. His community was family. And, so the Polka Mass is just kind of the culture, of family and celebration and reverence. And I think it really defines everything that he was about, his family's about, the roots of South Milwaukee, the roots of the Crusher. And I think it just brings you back to a time when things were just really good and really fun.
Well, I know you can follow you on social media with Crusher Fest, but also you've got a website if somebody wants to go there and find the whole lineup. What's that website?
CrusherFest.org.
Well, that's pretty easy to find.
CrusherFest.org.
CrusherFest.org. Peggy, stick around here. We'll get a little bit more from you as well as Dawn Lazowski and Sherry Brzezowski. Yes, they are the daughters of the Crusher. And we got a couple more questions we're going to ask them about their dad. It's all coming up on What's on Tap. But before we do anything else, at 6:30 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, here's Sean Brenda.
Thanks, Libby. Arrests have been made in Kenosha over a murder cold case. Roxana Collins of McHenry, Illinois, and John Viscasil of Genoa City, Wisconsin, are in custody. They are suspects in a murder of 47-year-old David Vanderzee. He was found dead with a gunshot wound at his home in Powers Lake in 2003. Viscasil and Collins each face one charge of first-degree intentional homicide as party to a crime with use of a dangerous weapon. Collins is in custody in Illinois on a $75,000 bond awaiting extradition to Wisconsin, and Viscasil is in custody in Kenosha County on a $500,000 bond. And a Rock County deer has tested positive for chronic wasting disease, or CWD. The doe has been quarantined at a deer farm in that county while the USDA veterinarians conduct further testing. CWD is a fatal neurological disease affecting deer, elk, and moose. And investigators in Bayview are working to pinpoint what started a house fire where a body was found. The Milwaukee Fire Department responded to a house on fire early Wednesday afternoon near South Burrell and Smith Streets. Firefighters put out the flames, then found the body when they searched the home. Investigators are also working to determine how the person died. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We got one crash at the exit to Lincoln Avenue from I-41 894 South. And that roads are looking pretty clear across all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to get a slight chance of showers early in the day, mostly cloudy with a low of 52 degrees. Friday, partly cloudy and warmer with a chance for thunderstorms late in the day with a high of 75 degrees. Saturday's looking to be mostly sunny with a high of 64 degrees near the lake and a 72 degrees inland. Sunday will be sunny and beautiful with a high of 67 near the lake and 74 degrees inland. And then on Monday, we're looking at 76 degree sunny skies Partly cloudy later on in the day, but that is what's happening right now. Currently, right now in Madison, it's 66. In Waukesha, it's 64. And right now in Milwaukee, it is a 63 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:32.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable. But a simple in-office solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple in-office procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Yeah, when you say your Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. No employees. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen for $16.59, but the everyday Hasselus price is just $8.42.
Whoa, Nelly.
We also have way low pricing on our selection of Sealy Posturepedic and more.
Well, that's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base.
That's exceptionally good.
Plus, free next day delivery, removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
All because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Get a free adjustable base now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. You're going to love this. There's free pizza today at the Amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. Business owners, managers, coaches, listen up. Check this out. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, your second pizza's free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 5, get 5 free pizzas. You got a big hungry crew. Buy 20 pizzas, get 20 free. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and your clients. They'll appreciate you big time. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, basketball, track, tennis team. It's free pizza at the Mine Shaft restaurant. And your players are going to love that world-class game room, super affordable team bonding. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford. It's right off Highway 41 in Oshkosh. 2 locations, easy to get to, lots of close parking, plenty of seating. And a reminder, the Friday all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. What a crazy low price. So don't cook today. Order now and pick up your pizza shortly or dine in and enjoy your free Thursday pizza. MineShaftRestaurant.com. Big food, big fun. It's the Mine Shaft.
What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
And Sandy will be back next week. I'm Libby Collins, and today we are joined by Dawn Lazowski, Sherry Bersowski. They are both the daughters of the Crusher. Got to ask you a couple more things about your dad. Did any of these wrestlers ever hang out at the house?
Oh, yes. My dad loved to cook. I don't know if many people knew that, but he loved to cook. Wherever he went, he'd get a recipe, or any of the other wrestlers. A lot of the wrestlers were very good cooks. And so he'd bring those home. And yeah, when guys were in town, he'd have them over for dinner.
You know, he was on the road so much. And I think, you know, he understood, you know, when you're there for another day and they're just sitting in a hotel room. And this way they were with a family, you know. Billy Robinson would come over. A lot of people actually came over.
The Giant broke the string, all of the springs.
Who broke the springs?
The Giant. Andre the Giant. He broke the springs in his Cadillac on the seat in the back.
He's that big.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He was huge. Yeah.
When I would stand up and he was sitting down, I mean, I didn't even get to his head like sitting down. I mean, he was 7'11" or 7'12".
He was huge.
He was huge. Huge.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's just amazing when you think about that. And these are wonderful guys, but was there were there any wrestlers that your dad didn't like? I mean, in real life, where he wrestled them, but he came in and just
if he did, he didn't say
never
that.
said anything to us about it.
No.
So, but he, for the most part, they were almost like a fraternity.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a close-knit group.
Yeah.
Because of what they all went through and all of the traveling they did. And they traveled a lot together.
Yeah.
So, it was their own, special group that they had.
Dick the Bruiser, we would go places with his family all the time.
To Florida. We went every year.
And Indianapolis. Remember when this big dog
bit
put
my
his
head
over his...
Wait, what happened?
He had many German Shepherds, but huge. They were huge. And we were sitting there, and I was young.
You were just standing there.
Yeah, just standing there. And I think they saw the long blonde hair. When I was young, I had really long blonde hair. And the next thing I knew, it stood up on me and put its mouth around my head.
And then there's like, Dick's like, bow, and my dad's like, whoa. And then his wife comes out, what's going on? Oh my gosh,
he didn't fight or anything. He's just curious.
Yeah,
and but I was just standing there like, oh my God.
What do I do?
Dick the Bruiser was like family to you, though.
Absolutely.
Because
and their family. We traveled every year.
Didn't your dad call him his cousin?
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't really.
No. But,
But they looked so much alike, and they acted alike. And we would go to their place in Indianapolis where he lived. And, I mean, they were nice
very
people.
nice family.
Yeah. And tough. He was a Green Bay Packer for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally, they gave him the heave-ho because he'd always go out after, they'd lock you down, and he'd find a way to get out and go party in Green Bay.
Well, Dick the Bruiser and your dad, the Crusher, they were considered like the toughest tag team in the business at the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was there anybody that you think or that your dad might have said that were really even tougher than they were?
No.
Never would my dad say that.
I'd say the dog and his brother were close.
Yes.
But that was about it. That was about it.
But he would never say anyone was tougher or better than them.
No.
Well, we want to hear a little bit more about Crusher Fest. Peggy Clark, the president of Crusher Fest, is going to join us right after this with a few more words about what to expect this weekend. It is a huge weekend in South Milwaukee.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I feel better than I ever have thanks to Connect Chiropractic. Got a little bit of a shoulder issue? The shoulder issue has gotten better. I carry my stress in my upper back. It's gone. It's Connect Chiropractic. I go every single week, and it's a long-term care focus at Connect, making you feel better so you can do the things that you want to do every single day. Play with the grandkids, play that pickleball, get out on the golf course. New location in Oak Creek, joining the existing locations in Tosa and Delafield. Go where I go. Connect Chiropractic.
Hey, Milwaukee, it's Josh Albrecht here. And I'm also Josh Albrecht. Join us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. on 620 WTMJ for Joshin' Around Milwaukee. We're diving into the best of what makes this city great. Local events, hidden gems, and of course, everything Milwaukee. It's your inside look at what's happening around town, places to visit, people to meet, and stories you won't want to miss. Catch us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ and find extended episodes and content on visitmilwaukee.org. Let's get Joshin' Around.
Two Joshes are better than one.
The countdown to summer is on at Heiser Automotive. And guess what? You're getting employee pricing on new Ford and Lincoln vehicles. But wait, we are making it even better. Get double the employee discount on remaining new 2024 models. Yes, more savings equals more fun. And with our exclusive Safe and Sound experience, you'll get roadside assistance for life. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hitting the open road this summer, we've got your back. Don't miss these deals. The summer fun starts at Heiser. Visit HeiserFord.com today.
See dealer for complete details since 5/31/2025.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geissdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
What would your community be like without UW-Madison? The UW is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research. UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just in Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
And Sandy Maxx is off. I'm Libby Collins. We are talking Crusher Fest with the daughters of the Crusher, Dawn Lazowski, Sherry Brzezowski. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about Crusher Fest itself with Peggy Clark in just a minute. But you've got a story about something that happened that, well, go ahead, Dawn.
We would go every year down to Florida, and the Bruiser and my family would be in these two cottages next to one another. And one night, everybody was at Bruiser's place, and they're all drinking and laughing. And all of a sudden, I was in the kitchen, and and I'm like, oh, I'll get it, Daddy. And so I open the door, and there are these two smallest police officers I've ever seen. And they were sweating bullets. And they're like, can we talk to your dad? And I'm like, sure. And so I'm like, Daddy, the police are at the door. And so here, I'm in this galley kitchen, which is maybe 3 feet across. And here come these two guys walking down that, and they're like shoulder to shoulder. And they open that door, and then you've got this, what do you want? You know? And they were just like, oh, well, there's noise, and somebody said there was wine bottles throwing over the fence and that, and they went outside, and I didn't hear the rest of it. But needless to say, those policemen never came back again.
I bet they didn't. Well, I'll tell you, we would come back, and I hope you come back, because I love your stories about your dad and about wrestling. We've also got Peggy Clark here, and once again, Peggy, you are the president of Crusher Fest. Let's remind everybody about this weekend, because it's going to be a huge, huge event Saturday and Sunday in South Milwaukee. And the big act is what? Chris Jericho has a band?
Chris Jericho. And Jericho will be there. His band goes on around 8. And I know everyone.
That's on Saturday, right?
About that.
He goes on Saturday. Okay.
And the other thing is, these wrestlers are so, when I've talked with them, they all have a story to tell about the Crusher. From Ken Resnick, I met with Hulk Hogan a little bit ago. He just couldn't stop talking about the Crusher. He wrestled with him. I mean, you want to hear stories, come down to Crusher Fest and have some signings with the talent, because they'll tell you story after story about their man, Reggie.
And it is going to be, the superstars are just, the lineup is incredible. Music, and there's going to be food, and there's going to be beer, and there's going to be fun. There's even going to be a polka mask. And Sherry and Dawn, are you going to be there too?
Oh,
absolutely.
You got it.
Oh,
And are you going to be?
We're going to have Hulk Hogan's beer. Real American beer will be at the festival.
My son, by the way, loves Hulk Hogan beer. Listen, I can't thank you enough. Peggy Clark, the president of Crusher Fest, thank you so much for being here. Dawn Lazowski, Sherry Brzezowski, the daughters of the Crusher. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
And you know what? I know you've got some huge fans of your dad who are listening right now.
Yes, we do. We have the biggest Crusher fans. Max and Sam, my grandsons.
And we have Isabella, Carter, Henry, and our newest and littlest fan, Noah.
And are any of them talking about becoming wrestlers?
Well, you never know. You just never know.
They do. The two boys did wrestle, and they are only 5 and 6. They were 5 at the time. And they already are wrestling.
Little Crushers.
Yep.
John Lazowski, Sherry Bazowski, Peggy Clark, thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to find out more about Crusher Fest, they are right there. It's crusherfest.org, and you can follow them on social media as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's 6:47 coming up next. It is the song you want to hear, or your song you need to hear, and it is brought to you by Flanders Home Entertainment. Visit them at flanders.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Nobody loves a deal more than Dad, so make him proud and shop Fleet Farm for his Father's Day gifts at the best prices guaranteed. Like a Charbroil 3-burner gas grill for just $149.99. Or how about a Craftsman V20 half-inch cordless drill driver kit for $49. And whether he's grilling or drilling, help him look good with Carhartt Force tees for 25% off. For more of the hottest Father's Day deals, stop by your local Fleet Farm or check out our latest weekly ad at fleetfarm.com.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit frederick.com/cancer.
Why settle for just a job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Bond set at $1 million now for the man involved in a 38-hour standoff in Fredonia.
Eric Billstad.
The trial of Maxwell Anderson, accused of killing and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson, will continue with more testimony.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
2 left lanes blocked on westbound 94 right at Mitchell Boulevard.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ. You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
And Sandy's off. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy. Well, you know, Waukesha's favorite son, Les Paul, was born on June 9th of 1915. And there are going to be a number of events celebrating his 110th birthday. And I had the opportunity to talk on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line with the program director for the Les Paul Foundation, Sue Baker. She was a personal friend of Les Paul. And I asked her what her favorite memory was of Les. And believe it or not, it happened right here in Waukesha. The Waukesha County Historical Society and Museum have a special event on Tuesday, June 17th.
And that is for educators. Within the Les Paul Foundation, we focus on giving educators every resource they could want regarding Les Paul. We believe that Les can be an inspiration for not only kids, but for all of us. He had a wonderful sense of persistence. There's so many stories in his life where things didn't go the way he wanted, and yet if he thought he was right, he just kept at it. And sometimes those things took 10 years. It's those kind of stories that we like to share with educators and give them resources so that they can share that with kids and inspire the young people of today to go out and be all they can be the way Les did.
What's your favorite memory of Les?
I think the first time I went to his house, I've always lived in the Midwest, and so I have a lot of Midwest characteristics, and I have found that when I travel to the coast that we are different in the Midwest. And it's a good thing because the people on the coast think we're very friendly. But when I first met Les and I was by myself and I'd flown into Newark and I had driven to his house, I had a lot of doubts about why someone from Waukesha, who certainly wasn't famous, was going to visit this world-renowned musician, the wizard of music. And when I knocked on his door, it flew open, and he opened up his arms and he said, "Sue, you're here. Come on in." And I was so touched, so honored. Yet what I observed about Les is he always was humble. Well, a lot of the times he was. But he was always open to talking to people. And it wasn't a matter of, were you someone really famous who the world knew, or were you a cleaning person? Because I saw him interact with both and be very genuine and ask people how they were doing. I remember when he came one time to the Waukesha County Historical Society and Museum, there was someone who was very eager to meet him. Les and I and someone else were holding a conversation, and out of peripheral vision, he saw this woman, and he walked up to her, held out his right hand and said, "Hi, I'm Les Paul," which I almost fell on the floor laughing. I thought, well, yeah, everybody knows you're Les Paul. But that's who he was. He just was very open to people, and that really touched me.
Sue, it is going to be a wonderful celebration. So many events celebrating the 110th anniversary of Les Paul's birth in Waukesha. Give us a website where they can check things out.
Les-Paul.com, and that's the official Les Paul website. And if you go up on the top where it says news, click on there.
Sue Baker, Program Director for the Les Paul Foundation. So great to have you here today. Thank you for sharing so many memories.
Oh, my pleasure.
And that's Sue Baker. We're going to have more with her on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News on Sunday, if you want to hear more from Sue Baker. Interesting lady. Lots of great stories about Les Paul. Well, it's time for the song you need to hear, and it's sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Visit them at flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play. In the mid-'70s, Chet Atkins coaxed Les Paul out of retirement to record Chester and Lester. They won a Grammy for that album, and here they are playing live. Listen to those riffs. Les Paul playing with Chet Atkins. Oh, love it. We'll have more from Sue Baker on Sunday on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. Coming up after the news with Sean, it's Jazz in the Park. Hey, if you like this music, you're going to love that. It's all next on What's on Tap on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Does music matter to you? Flanders Home Entertainment wants to help you have the best music experience at home. They've got high-quality products, the best prices, and high-fidelity expertise for the best sound in and outside your home. Now is a great time to shop Flanders with their Music Matters sale event. All speakers, all amplifiers, receivers, turntables, CD players, music streamers, and accessories are on sale. Visit Flanders Home Entertainment today in West Allis, Grafton, or at Flanders.com. Sound advice at the best price. Flanders. Just press play.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic and gorgeous Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. It is the best dining value in the state. Your second dinner is always free. Steak, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, any dinner item on the menu, your second one is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, yeah, and they're huge. Buy one, get one free. So relax with your favorite beverage in the 8 unique dining rooms or on the patio in the woods. Spectacular views. I love the patio. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Your second dinner is always free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is a must-see. Weekends might be too busy. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. And the Friday Fish Fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Enjoy your free dinner. Tables are open. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 56 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 52 degrees. Friday, tomorrow, partly cloudy with some evening thunderstorms and a high of 75 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brinda. Tough testimony from family and friends in the Sade Robinson murder trial. The 19-year-old went missing after a first date with 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson in April of 2024. Her remains were later found scattered around southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Robinson's cousin and best friend, Elena Fisher, read the email she sent to police once she learned Robinson was missing.
I talked to you earlier today with my cousin. Here are some of the locations I have from my Life 360 app and my Apple Find My app. Hopefully the formatting doesn't mess up, but it should start from Monday, 6:29 p.m. until her last location on Tuesday, 4:35 a.m. Let me know if you need any close-up of locations or any other information or details.
Fisher and Robinson shared locations using the Life 360 app. Anderson is charged with 4 felonies in connection to the death and dismemberment of Robinson. And doubling down on a motion to dismiss, lawyers from Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan have filed a memorandum arguing her federal prosecution is not allowed. Dugan was indicted on charges that she helped an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents at the courthouse. The memorandum expands on a motion to dismiss the case filed earlier this month, and Dugan's team says it's based on 4 centuries of legal precedent. They're arguing Dugan has absolute immunity for official acts in her courtroom, and she cannot be charged for them. And ICE agents dressed in plain clothes on Wednesday made a sweep of immigration-related arrests inside a Manhattan federal building that houses immigration court. Meanwhile, in Florida, agents there raided a construction site near Florida State University in Tallahassee. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez has been looking into this and reports the raids at the courthouses are not specifically targeting criminals.
migrants are non-criminal asylum seekers whose only civil offense in this country is entering the country illegally or remaining here without permission, which is not a federal crime. And so the administration is targeting these migrants and placing them in a fast-track deportation process so they can be deported much more quickly.
Options for redesigning 794 are quickly shrinking. Wisconsin Department of Transportation Manager David Pittman tells WTMJ how the timeline for the project moves forward after presenting the remaining option with members of the public.
So right now, again, we're moving into the environmental phase of the project. We're going to be out a couple more times over the next year or so. So we'll be out for fall of this year, spring of next year, and then we'll have a public hearing kind of towards the end of 26 or so. But as mentioned, construction could be as early as 2030.
Options for the project include no change to 794, alternative adjustments to the route, keeping the highway and renovating the route as is, or demolishing 794 altogether. And bad, but not as bad as it could be. Kohl's Corporation reporting a net earnings loss of $15 million during the first quarter of this year. While the company lost millions, the losses were less than what they were a year ago when the company reported a net loss of $24 million. Interim CEO Michael Bender calling this morning's earnings report a step in the right direction. This marked the first earnings period for Bender in his current role. He was appointed interim CEO in April after Kohl's fired former CEO Ashley Buchanan for violating company policy. Sports, traffic, weather, and next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:03.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for several years. Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services, explains why.
We started with the document imaging, and I have to say that the service and support has been fantastic.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
Lori, what's your recommendation to others that aren't getting that kind of attention from their business technology company?
Please call James Imaging because they will work with you to make sure that you find a solution that can make you more efficient and productive.
Make the call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. We install anything decks and more. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find in stores at your local CVS, Meijer, Grocery, Amazon, or NewNordicUSA.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. A good day at American Family Field with the Brewers sweeping the Red Sox 6-5.
The Brewers seem to have found their mojo at the right time, winning 4 games in a row at the end of their 13 consecutive games. Maybe finding their edge. Caleb Durbin.
No matter what happens, like we're scrapping and we're battling, and you could feel that we never thought we were going to lose, but definitely in the dugout, like there's a different energy about us.
Sal Frelick.
It's kind of that pass the bat to the next guy, go up there, and just don't be an easy out. We're doing that 1 through 9 right now, and it's a fun offense to be a part of.
From American Family Field, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
The Crew gets the day off today before starting a weekend series against the Phillies tomorrow on Friday. And round 1 of the U.S. Women's Open is underway at Erin Hills. The 4-round tournament wraps up on Sunday. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We got 2 incidents on the road at I-43 94 North at Beecher and Mike Mitchell. The left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then over on I-41 894 South, we have a crash on the exit to Lincoln Avenue from I-41 894 South. So Be aware of that. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 52 degrees. Tomorrow, Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm with some scattered showers and storms possibly late in the day with a high of 75 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 73 degrees. Sunday will be sunny and beautiful with a high of 76 degrees. Monday's going to be mostly sunny and warm with a high of 82 degrees. Right now in Madison, it is currently 65 degrees. In Green Bay, it is currently 66 degrees. In Waukesha, it's currently 63 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 56 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:07.
Your need-to-know cultural snapshot of Wisconsin and beyond. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx, sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. A deep dive into all things intriguing, riveting, and entertaining. Now, here's your host, Sandy Maxx.
Well, Sandy's on vacation, but we're here taking a deep dive into a lot of things that are going on around the area this summer. And joining us this hour is Eddie Sturkey. He is the executive director of the Easttown Association. And Eddie, I asked you to come here specifically because you have one of my very favorite things that go on here in the city, and that is Jazz in the Park. And it's a little bit different this year.
Yeah, one of my favorites as well, and a long-standing tradition for the city. So we're going into, I think it's going to be, it not including the pandemic years, like the 32nd, 33rd season, I believe. And so things are a little bit different this year. We're doing transitioning to an every other week format. Instead of packing in, say, like 9 or 10 nights between June and August, doing really 2 special events each month through September.
Now, what about the vibe of coming down there? I know when I've gone, we bring the picnic kit and we bring the bottle of wine and we bring the blanket and all the special accoutrements that go with that. I mean, it's really an opportunity to be able to just relax, listen to some great music, and also get to know a lot of other people because it's such a friendly environment.
Yeah, and that's my favorite part of these events. I mean, for me, it's really about the community, and it's one of the many, I think, kind of few ways that we can bring the community together in a very impactful way, especially in this city. And the vibe overall is, it's just very welcoming. And what we're trying to do is kind of continue to build upon that by kind of creating a unique vibe each evening of the series this year, and one that brings together the city in various ways. And you do have people that kind of come in and maybe they have the picnic setup, which it's always fun to see the elaborate setups that some people have.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
What's the most elaborate one you've ever seen?
It's really more, I don't know, I almost want to use the word cute.
Okay.
But it's just the intricate ways that people might design their setup. And usually it's the basket. For me, it's about the basket that somebody brings.
Oh.
And we do highly discourage, people bringing their own bottle of wine only because it's really sponsorship and our beverage sales that really pay for these events. And so, but we have an amazing bar this year. We're partnering with Foxtown Brewing for the first time. So if anyone's a fan of them up in Mequon, they're going to be a partner this year. And we're just really excited about what we're going to be able to offer the community.
Oh, it's almost like a mini Ravinia.
Yes, I've heard that a few times. Yeah.
And I mean, and the musical offerings are terrific, and we're going to get into those in just a couple minutes. But I got to go back to the elaborate setups that you mentioned, because do you find that some people, it's almost a ritual for them because it's been going on now for so long, and they have their favorite spot. They're going to get there early. They're going to get the place where they always like to be and set that up exactly the way they want it.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite parts of, so I've only been doing this role for the last 3 years, and I stepped in 2022 to really help bring it back from the dead so that it wasn't something that was lost forever. And it's been meeting those individuals that have been coming here, sharing the stories of, this is what jazz was like, back in the day. And, there was a point where jazz was really the thing going on in town. It was the place to be, it was the place to be seen. And meeting people that have really been coming from the beginning, or it's the place that, they met their now wife. And it's the place that, people from, their smaller community in a section of the city have come together for the last 20, almost 30 years. And That for me has kind of been like a really main motivating factor. And yeah, it's the stories. The stories are just great.
Well, it's interesting. It seems like in and around Milwaukee, there used to be a lot of places where you could go and you could hear some really good jazz, and they're just not there anymore.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, we're also kind of not, even though it's called Jazz in the Park, it's not really the most jazz event. When we brought it back in 2020.
But it has a vibe.
But it does have a vibe and really exciting vibes. I mean, we are keeping a very dedicated jazz evening, which is going to happen on June 19th this year with one of my favorite local groups called Christopher's Project. But it's really going to be a unique vibe in almost every evening, and again, in a way that connects the community in a variety of ways.
Well, it certainly does. And we're going to talk about some of those acts. We're even going to hear a little bit of their music. It's coming up on What's on Tap. We're joined by Eddie Sturkey. He is with the Easttown Association. He's the executive director. We're talking about Jazz in the Park. And in just a couple minutes, you can hear some of the music from some of those great acts who are going to be there this summer.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on Conversations, we talk with outspoken Milwaukee Alderman Lamont Westmoreland.
We always talk about deep-rooted issues, right, that cause people to act how they act. It's not making an excuse. It's saying that some people that act out have some sort of trauma. But should they be held accountable? Yes. It's something that's really important to me, and I think it's important for our community.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
Sandy's off, but we are keeping it real here with Eddie Sturkey he's the director of the Easttown Association. We're talking about Jazz in the Park this summer, and I want to talk about some of the bands that are going to be playing, because as you said, it's not always traditional jazz, but these are definitely acts that have a lot of the same essence of traditional jazz.
Yeah, and we're really taking a step to kind of reimagine the event for the future for the community. And so we're taking bigger steps away from trying to keep it within the confines of jazz. And it just really allows us a lot of opportunities that we didn't have before. So we're really excited about this season's lineup.
All right, so let's talk about opening night, June 5th. And who's it going to be? It's sort of a salsa beat. What's the name of that band?
Orquesta Ayala Salsa Band, and we have an accompanying dance company with them as well. So it'll be a great way. It's our Latin night this year to really kick off the series.
And so the dancers are going to be out there, I imagine, in beautiful costumes.
Yep. And then in between set breaks too. And so it's one of those things that you just kind of have to come down and see it.
Oh, I love that vibe. Play it a little bit more. Love that, Brian. Orquesta Ayala Salsa Band. Okay, that's June 5th. Now let's move ahead. You mentioned this just a little bit. On July 5th, it's going to be Chris Hayes Band.
July 3rd, right before 4th of July. And so this is really our Americana evening, our stars, stripes, and strings, we're calling it. Yeah, Chris Hayes, local favorite.
Oh, I do like that. That's really nice. Now, he's been playing around town for a while, too, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people travel in to see him from the greater Milwaukee area. Just a good Americana vibe.
Yeah. But that's not traditional jazz, as you said, but it's got a really, really good sound to it. I mean, that's the kind of music you want to just sort of, get on the blanket and get close to somebody and just enjoy.
Yeah, go right into the July 4th weekend.
Oh, great way to get into it. All right. So and this one I'm really looking forward to because I'm a huge fan. August 14th, it's all about respect and a tribute to the Queen of Soul. Oh, come on. Come on, Eddie. This is great music.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin. This was our night that got rained out last year, and one of the most disappointing evenings because so many people were excited for it. So we made a promise to bring her back, and she's back.
And what's the artist's name?
So it's a tribute band to the Aretha Franklin. So respect, tribute to the Queen of Soul. Soulful Summer is our theme night of what we're calling it.
Yeah, but I mean, this lead singer, she is dynamite. Well, I bet you're going to have people up and rocking during this one. And Aretha Franklin had so many hits.
Yeah, we had a lot of people demanding that we make that one come back. So very proud of that one.
Oh, you can see why.
City traffic's moving way too slow. Drop the pedal and go.
Oh, yeah. Tribute to the Queen of Soul. And then finally, on August 28th, you got a really big one with Betsy Ade and the Well-Known Strangers. Now, that's a little more mellow, Eddie.
Yeah, they actually are going to be pretty high energy, and we actually are opening it up too with Our Voice Milwaukee. It's an all-men's choir group, and this is an exciting evening for us. We partnered with Milwaukee Pride, and so we're calling it our Pride in the Park evening, and really leaning into again, making each night kind of seem like a special event in itself. And so we'll have a lot of other additional surprises throughout the evening as well.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so surprises. You got to give us some hints. Anytime you say surprises.
Yeah, so, one of the things we're also adding in this season is having a lot of marketplace vendors, like different side stage performers, little things that just make each theme and evening, again, feel like a special night. And just it really contributes to that overall vibe that evening. Yeah,
well, you just really want to put these dates on your calendar. And where can we find all of the dates, all of the things that are going on? You've got a website for that.
Easttown.com, and then follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. We're always posting content, and you can learn more about our side stage experience and other offerings that we have at each one of these events.
Ooh, I love it. Jazz in the Park, one of my favorite things to do in the summer in Milwaukee. Eddie, can you stick around for just a couple minutes? Because I know Easttown Association has more than Jazz in the Park, and I want to hear about some of those other events.
Of course.
It's Eddie Sturkey in the studio with us on What's on Tap. I'm Libby Collins. We'll have more with Eddie right after this on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Yeah, when you say your Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. No employees. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen for $16.59, but the everyday Hasselus price is just $8.42.
Whoa, Nettie.
We also have way low pricing on our selection of Sealy Posturepedic and more.
Well, that's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base.
That's exceptionally good.
Plus, free next day delivery, removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
All because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Get a free adjustable base now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Hey, pilots and aviation lovers, there's nothing quite like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 21st through the 27th, get up close to thousands of aircraft, including the cool military stuff. Learn about the newest innovation, get hands-on with experts, and witness breathtaking daily air shows. No better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by getting to the world's greatest aviation celebration. I'll be there. Get all the details and your tickets now at EAA.org, July 21st through the 27th.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
They produce less energy than a big nuclear power plant, so it's a little bit easier.
Entertainment.
This second season, there's such an excitement, and then also the curiosity of polygamy.
Oh.
And more.
If they did not have access to things like Badger Care, what would happen to these women and their children?
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ. What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx is back on WTMJ.
And I'm Libby Collins. We are back in the studio with Eddie Sturkey from the Easttown Association. And Eddie, you do so much. It isn't just jazz in the park. You have so many other events. And again, another favorite around here is Bastille Days.
Yes.
Yeah. Who came up with that idea? I mean, the French, obviously. But here in Milwaukee, how did they come up with that?
Yeah, the story that I've been told is that over 40 years ago, it was somebody that was running the Pfister at the time. And he was somebody that had a French background and really wanted to throw a festival. And so they kind of activated Jefferson Street right in front of the Pfister. And it was basically a 2-block small festival that just really evolved to really taking over most of Kilbourne Avenue in that side of town for a number of years. And that was before the streetcar came in and back when it used to be able to be promoted as like the North America's largest French festival. So, but still the heart of it is still in the Cathedral Square Park, and we're happy to keep it alive today.
What's your favorite part of it?
My favorite part of it is honestly, it's the most like family-friendly big event that I've attended almost anywhere, not just in Milwaukee, but one of my proudest moments is like when I can see a family on the park, even at 10 o'clock at night, and the playground is active and kids are getting like henna art. And it's just such a welcoming, exciting vibe.
Well, there's so many different things there. I mean, the can-can dancers, that's one of the most popular things. Everybody wants to see the can-can dancers.
Love the can-can dancers.
Where do you find those ladies?
Yeah, so they're from like basically the greater Chicago, greater Milwaukee area, combination of people. And, they've been coming back year after year. Everyone loves getting a photo opportunity when they're walking around. If you can find them sneaking around the festival, grab them while you can, because usually they get people's attentions fast. And the fortune tellers. Oh. Fortune tellers are probably one of my favorite things at the festival.
Yeah. There's always a huge line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the French bulldogs. You got to stop by for a kiss.
Which we're going to try. We haven't really announced it yet, and we're in early talks, but a Pardon My Frenchie event where we're going to try to do a big gathering of the bulldogs. And we kind of had an impromptu one. Not officially organized one last year, but really trying to lean into it a little bit more this year.
Pardon my Frenchie.
Pardon my Frenchie.
I love that.
I can't take credit for that. That's somebody named Marley that used to help us, but love the name.
That is terrific. And of course, the date for Bastille Days is?
That's going to be July 17th and 20th, and we're going to have more French restaurants than ever, including Loopy and Iris and Margot Brasseria out in Brookfield.
Oh, I love Margot Brasseria.
Yeah, and a big French rock band headliner called La Jerry, who we're bringing in, so that'll add a lot of energy to it as well. And then it kicks off that Thursday evening, 9 p.m., a lot of other people's favorite, Storm the Bastille.
How many runners do you expect this year?
So last year we had 4,500 runners.
Oh,
we usually add on about 500 to 1,000 more than that. It is our largest part of our fundraiser for the festival, which overall is a fundraiser for our nonprofit organization. So we're always encouraging people to register if they can. So we always estimate around 5,500 to 6,000 people that participate. So, and we're expecting record attendance this year.
Oh, amazing. I hope you have great weather for all 4 days.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, you're confident. You must know somebody. All right, so if you want to run in that, if you want to be part of storming the Bastille, how soon do you have to sign up?
So registration is already going. We encourage people to register early because we do have to cap it at a certain number, especially if you want to get a T-shirt, and allows us to plan ahead. So register now, register early. You can also register at a bit of a discount right now as opposed to when it gets closer to the festival or day of, but you are able to register right up to the race if you really want to.
Are the waiters still running?
We unfortunately haven't had the waiter race back since the pandemic, but it's on those list of items that we can hopefully grow back into. So
you got to bring that back. That is always a favorite part. Well, you've got a lot going on this summer at Cathedral Square. I mean, you do so much great work with Easttown. Anything else that you want to make sure that people know about?
Yeah, this Sunday we kick off the Cathedral Square Market. So that'll be 19 summers this year, this Sunday through mid-October. And we have free yoga at 9 a.m., wellness fitness classes from 10 to 11 o'clock. Music, lots of great food, lots of great vendors.
About how many vendors do you expect?
Right now we have about 30 to 40 signed up in any given week. So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So there'll be fresh veggies right from the farm?
A few produce vendors, a lot of makers, artists. It's really a mix of everything. And, we relaunched it again in 2022. With about 5 or 8 vendors in any given week, and we've been rebuilding it ever since, and it's just a new Sunday tradition for the city of Milwaukee.
Well, it is all about the vibe when you go to Cathedral Square and you see what's going on. And again, Jazz in the Park gets underway June 5th, opening night. It's going to be a great salsa band. And Eddie Sturkey, we cannot thank you enough for being here. If anybody wants to find out more about some of the events we talked about, whether it's Jazz in the Park or, like we said, Bastille Days, the market, and I know you've got a lot of smaller events that are going on all throughout the summer. Where can we get that whole list of things to do?
Yeah, easttown.com, and then follow us on social media.
Thank you so much. Eddie Sturkey from the Easttown Association, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, and coming up after the news, we're going to have somebody in here who likes to bike. I wonder if he likes to bike around Cathedral Square. We're going to find out, because next week is Wisconsin Bike Week, and there are going to be a lot of people out there, a lot more events. We'll talk about it. It's all coming up on What's on Tap right here on WTMJ. I'm Libby Collins, in for Sandy Maxx. And joining us in the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it's Sean Brenda. Sean, what's going on this hour?
Thanks, Libby. It's day 2 of testimony in the Maxwell Anderson trial. The 34-year-old is accused of killing and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson after her first date in April of 2024. Law enforcement testified this morning about their investigations around Robinson's apartment around Waremount Park in Cudahy, where her remains were found, and where she went after she left work. Robinson's friends testified about their actions when they found out she was missing and her location showing up on the Life 360 app before her phone died. The trial is expected to last 2 weeks. An arrest made in Kenosha over a murder cold case. Roxana Collins of McHenry, Illinois, and John Viscasil of Genoa City, Wisconsin, are in custody. They are suspects in the murder of 47-year-old David Vanderzee, who was found dead with a gunshot wound at his home in Powers Lake in 2003. Viscasil and Collins each face one charge of first-degree intentional homicide as party to a crime with use of a dangerous weapon. Collins is in custody in Illinois on a $75,000 bond awaiting extradition to Wisconsin, and Viscasil is in custody in Kenosha County on a $500,000 bond. And a special giveaway to honor Mr. Baseball. 25,000 ticketed fans coming to American Family Field on Saturday, August 23rd, will get a Bob Uecker-themed golf umbrella. The umbrella will feature a special plaid design to honor the legendary broadcaster. The giveaway comes one day before Uecker's celebration of life at American Family Field. Uecker passed away in January of small cell lung cancer. He was 90 years old. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got 2 incidents on the road, one at I-43 94 North at Beecher and Mitchell. Left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. And then we have a crash on the exit to Lincoln Avenue from I-41 894 South. And that roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 52 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm with some scattered showers and storms late in the day with a high of 75 degrees. Saturday's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 65 near the lake and 73 degrees inland. Sunday will be sunny and beautiful with a high of 67 degrees near the lake and 76 degrees inland. And Monday will be mostly sunny and warm with a high of 78 degrees near the lake and 82 degrees inland. Right now in Green Bay, it's currently 65 degrees. In Waukesha, it's currently 62 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 57 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:32.
Born in the heart of the earth, natural diamonds rise up like the notes of a song from the throat of Mother Nature.
Rick, that was positively poetic. Mother Nature sings diamonds. Sarah, wow, you can sing.
Born in the heart of a plasma chamber, created diamonds fall softly like snowflakes from the heart of a star.
A star that shines like true love.
Natural diamonds are earthborn.
Created diamonds are starborn.
Kessler's has the largest selection of natural diamonds in the state of Wisconsin. All the different sizes, all the fancy shapes.
Give her a fancy diamond. We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
Bigger, brighter natural diamonds.
And financing that makes anything possible.
Kessler's is the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America.
Which means we can do anything we want to do.
For you.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Why settle for just a job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? I'm Jim Token, president of ADAM, the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. The 115-member new car dealers that make up ADAM have extremely desirable service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now, with new ones opening up every day. Whether you're just getting out of school or considering a career change, the salary and benefits are fantastic, and the potential for advancement is unlimited. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an ADAM new car dealer. Live the life you've always imagined. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows.
Go to work happy when you go to work in the auto industry. For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stacked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Welcome back to What's on Tap on WTMJ.
And Sandy Maxx taking some time off. I'm Libby Collins. Remember, What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. Well, there is so much going on in Milwaukee, and not just Milwaukee, but the entire state of Wisconsin. And joining us in the studio is Jake Newborn. He is the assistant director of the Wisconsin Bike Federation, and it is Wisconsin Bike Week getting underway on Sunday. It goes for a whole week. Jake, I know you rode your bike here.
I did.
Yeah. And so why is this week different than the rest of the summer months or any months that we can ride bikes in the area?
It's first of all, it's just got an event aspect for everybody who does different types of biking. If you're new and you've never ridden a bike, it's a great chance to get out and encourage you to try it. We've got some classes that teach adults how to learn to ride. If you're super experienced and you've been doing it forever, there's a commuter station and you can get a free coffee and bagel on your way to work just to thank you.
Wait a bit. Can you actually teach an adult who never rode a bike before how to ride a bike?
I've taught Several, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it more difficult?
It's a little more difficult because I think sometimes actually they have a little more anxiety about it than children do. But it's about the same.
Yeah, there's just something about the freedom, though, of being on a bicycle. Are you finding that bike riding and aficionados have changed now that you have these electric bikes?
The electric bikes have become extremely popular. I've talked with a lot of shop owners, and they are flying off the shelves. One thing I would say about them is I would encourage everyone to get one from your local bike shop and not just some online random place, because that shop will be able to service it, fix it if something goes wrong, and make sure the battery is UL standard. Some of those ones that can be dangerous, you just get online.
You mentioned dangerous. What are there things with an electric bike, if you're riding that you need to be more concerned about than if you're on a regular manual bicycle?
Sure. And just like you're kind of riding a bike, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. I wouldn't say it's inherently any more dangerous, but they can go a little faster than you might be used to. They are a little heavier, so like the stopping distance may be a little bit longer. And also like lifting it, moving it around. If you're taking it on and off a rack or getting it upstairs, that can be more challenging. But it opens it up and brings people back to biking, makes it so much easier. And you can go further, longer. Maybe someone who's not as good a biker can ride with someone who is a good biker, and they can be on equal footing there.
Is it cheating? I mean, I grew up with a bicycle. I was out there every day riding my bike, and it seems like with an electric one, you're not getting the same.
Cheating at what? Cheating at what? Are you in a race? I mean, they might not allow them in a race.
Well, but cheating as far as the whole experience of riding a bike and pedaling and moving your legs back and forth. I mean, with an electric bike, it's so easy. It's almost like a little motorcycle.
I have an electric bike, and it is still, a workout. And if you think
is
about
it really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you still have to pedal, and it's getting people on a bike who maybe weren't on a bike before. So if you think about like that health impact, like they were not riding a bike because it may have got more difficult or challenging as they got older. Now they're getting back on a bike and they're moving their body, they're getting out with friends, they're being active, and it's a huge improvement.
I have read that a lot of people who are younger aren't getting driver's licenses. Mm-hmm. And they're riding bikes instead. Are you finding that to be true?
We are seeing that as well. They're riding bikes. They're taking the scooters. They're taking the bus. They're taking even like Uber lifts and things like that. And actually, we just started last year a program for high school students to get them on bikes more and do education and encouragement programs for them because we are seeing this trend.
All right, so you've got some big events going on. They've already started, actually, even though Wisconsin Bike Week doesn't get underway until Sunday. I want to find out what some of them are, so stick with us. We've got Jake Newborn here. He is the Assistant Director of the Wisconsin Bike Federation. Wisconsin Bike Week gets underway on Sunday, and we'll find out about some of the events right after this on What's on Tap.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Frondelmax Vextilando.
Ben.
Nargolento Zipidorium.
Ben.
Yes, Nicole?
Do I have to ask?
Why am I wearing a wizard's cape?
Yes.
Because of the Brooklyn Cabinet.
The Brooklyn Cabinet?
Have you heard of it?
Of course. It's the most configurable piece in Penny Mustard's history.
Configurabulus Maximus.
But what's with the wizard getup?
The Brooklyn Cabinet looks like something you'd see in the hallowed halls of a faraway magical campus.
That curved top is pretty enchanting.
And with all the configurable options, you get to work your personal magic.
Cabinenta Importum.
Wait, what What are you waving?
My magic wand, Arvid.
That's a beef stick.
Hey, even wizards get hungry.
Right.
Snackiest Samanoso.
The bewitching Brooklyn Cabinet, starting at just $122 a month with no interest till May of 2028 through June 1st at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Magical versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 9-ounce selected varieties essential everyday potato chips, 2 for $4. 3-count selected varieties Marushan ramen noodles, 4 for $1. 64-ounce selected varieties Sunny Delight, 2 for $3. 12.8 to 18.8 ounce selected varieties Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, $5.49.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
You're listening to What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx on WTMJ.
Sandy's going to be back with you next week. I'm Libby Collins. We are joined with Jake Newborn, Assistant Director of the Wisconsin Bike Federation. Wisconsin Bike Week getting underway on Sunday. Let's talk about some of those big events. I know they're all over the state, so we can talk about, but you're really going to have to go to your website to figure out exactly the closest one to you. But what are some of your favorites?
Sure, there are so many around the state. So please go to wisconsinbikefed.org, check out our online calendar, search under the Bike Week events all around the state. So some of my favorite ones are Biking with the Mayor in Milwaukee. That is on June 5th.
Now, wait. Okay, now how do we do that?
So that's in the morning. That's leaving at Burnham Park, I believe 8:30 a.m. And we'll do a little, press and then a ride, about a 5-mile ride, and end back at Burnham Park on the south side.
How's the mayor on a bike?
He likes to ride the electric bike, the bubbler electric bikes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, so we get to see him on that.
Yeah.
And then what else is going on?
There is, so our theme is educate, engage, and encourage. And so the education, we've got several classes, both adult learn to ride, like we talked about, and like if you do know how to ride, we've got a smart cycling basics. If you just need some tips, some confidence, some encouragement there, we've got those. And those are at the Urban Ecology Centers on Tuesday and Thursday. And then, oh my gosh, we got so much more. Okay, so then educate is our other aspect. And we are launching a ton of PSA and safe cycling guides and billboards and yard signs and a ton of information that's out there for free. You can get that at a lot of the commuter stations that we'll be having. So that's the encouragement part.
You mentioned safety.
Yes.
What is the greatest, or what's the most frequent thing that people on bikes do that they shouldn't be doing?
I'd say running lights is probably the thing you see the most common. That's one reason that we don't encourage breaking the law. We encourage following the rules, being a legal vehicle on the road, and that's the best way to keep you safe.
Do bicyclists always have the right of way?
There's a lot of instances there. If you're crossing a street in like a crosswalk, yes, they do. Similar to pedestrians having a right of way in a crosswalk there. Now, but bicycle is a vehicle, so you follow the same right of way rules as you do when you're driving. So if you're turning left, you yield to a bicycle going straight. If you're turning right, you yield to that bicycle going past you too in the bike lane. So it's just think like a vehicle is the way.
And do you find that all people on bicycles adhere to these rules?
Well, I don't think all the people driving adhere to the rules. So I don't think it's fair to say, I saw one biker blow a stop sign and so they all do. I think that the most dangerous thing for bicyclists is the drivers and their actions. They're in a 2-ton vehicle and are on their phone or not looking or going too fast. Speeding is a major issue in our city and our state and our country. And so if people in the cars are driving safer, the people on the bikes would be safer.
So is it a good idea if you've got a kid, he's got his first bike, you got him out there on that 2-wheeler, to make sure he knows the rules before he even starts?
I think that for young children, it's going to go over their head. I mean,
Really?
understanding left and right and all that stuff. As they get older, there's age-appropriate things that you can start to do to encourage them. Also, I think young children probably shouldn't be under 5, riding by themselves except around the block. So, we do a lot of youth education in Milwaukee Public Schools with like 5th and 6th graders, and we start to take them from kind of that playground sidewalk riding to the street. So we start to teach them, how to look both ways, how to use your hand signals, how to stop at traffic lights, where to ride in the road. So try and instill it from a young age.
So again, you've got safety tips, you've got other things going on. It is Wisconsin Bike Week getting underway on Sunday, June 1st. What's the most important thing you want people to know about that?
About Bike Week, I think go to the website and wisconsinbikefed.org and just find, there's, again, stuff all across the state. There's free commuter stations with free breakfast and coffee in the morning along the trails. There is classes, there's fun rides, there's parties, there's, go get a drink and donate to the Bike Fed at the Triple Tap Room on North Avenue. There's so much we would need another half-hour segment to get through it all.
All right, so once again, if you want to find out where all these things are going on, get everything you need to know about Wisconsin Bike Week, what's the website?
Wisconsin Bike Fed, that's BIKEFED.org.
Jake Newborn from the Wisconsin Bike Federation. It's always great to talk with you.
It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, now you get out there, you get on your bike and pedal home.
I will be pedaling home, yep.
Jake Newborn. I'm Libby Collins in for Sandy Maxx. And, we kind of miss Sandy, but she's got a special trip that's going to take place in September. It's going to be all throughout some wonderful places in Europe, Austria, Germany. And we're going to tell you all about it with a little return of Sandy Maxx right after this on What's on Tap.
Save big money on everything when you shop at Menards. Moving? Need an extra key for your house or car? Stop by Menards for all your key duplication needs with KeyMe. KeyMe can quickly and easily copy thousands of different types of home, commercial, and car keys, even security fobs. Find the bright yellow KeyMe kiosk at Menards today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's Bucks broadcaster Dave Kane. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast. Want to stay up to date with the crew?
And he walked in a run. Back-to-back walks after walking McCutcheon on 4 pitches.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
Freddie Peralta isn't able to get past the 5th inning against the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is your guy. You can't walk 3 guys against Pittsburgh and expect your bullpen to bail you out. It's just not sustainable.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ. This is What's on Tap with Sandy Maxx.
are taking with listeners coming up in September.
There are still spaces available, but don't get sold out. I am so looking forward to this. I can beach it, but I really like to beer it. Oh. We are going to tour all kinds of European breweries in Germany, in Austria, and the Czech Republic. So
wow.
I know. I'm very
Have
excited.
you ever been to a genuine German beer garden?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like here. It's completely different.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much German influence in southern Wisconsin, southeastern Wisconsin, and right here in Milwaukee, the beer capital of America. But to be in Munich, I was in Munich 10 years ago, so I'm very much looking forward to being back there in September, and went to Hofbrauhaus. You know, that word Gemütlichkeit is camaraderie, sharing good vibes and good conversation, and just that special feeling of, I would almost say, belonging. And you don't have to be from there. You don't have to necessarily know somebody with a deep bond. You feel like you belong together and you're in the right spot and celebrating joys and just talking about life in general and just enjoying the music and the food and the flavors of tasty beers and huge steins. You know, it really does embody that vibe. Whether you're in Hofbrauhaus, in that beer hall, which is where we start, Libby, in Munich. But like you said, there are beer gardens all around Munich that we will enjoy and savor. Also in Salzburg and in Vienna and in Prague, which is where the Pilsner is so well known. And water in the Pilsners in Prague, I have learned, come from like wells that are at least 300 meters deep. Like, you're not going to get that flavor here. We have great flavors here, but you're not going to get that flavor. The beer-making tradition goes back to the 1300s, the 1600s, the 1800s in this part of Europe that we're going to tour for 10 days.
Well, you're also going to be in two of my favorite cities, Salzburg and Vienna. And I was there about a year and a half ago, and I would go back in a heartbeat. There's so much to see there. The people are so lovely. I love Austrian people, and they are the nicest people. It seems like everybody I ran into spoke English. So it wasn't really a struggle.
Welcome. You'll feel like you're in a foreign country enjoying experiences. But yeah, you won't feel unwelcome.
But the beauty of the gardens and the people and a couple of things in Vienna. I don't know if you're going to have time to go to Schönbrunn Palace and the grounds there, but it was based on Versailles. And it's really spectacular if you have time to just go and wander around to see the museums there. There's a zoo that's the oldest zoo in the world there in Vienna, and it's just spectacular.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because when we build these WTMJ group trips, I love that there are enough activities and visits to, whether it's the Oktoberfest Museum or different breweries that we're going to go to in a small group, and we get right in because we're special and got the small group together. But there is enough time built in for you to go have your own dinner. Spend an afternoon and evening doing your own thing, because that's some of the joy of travel, is making your own discoveries. So when you come on this group trip with me, it's not elbow to elbow and, like kindergartners holding hands. Like, we do not have to be all together all the time. Part of the joy is doing your own thing. So if somebody's listening and goes, oh, that sounds wonderful. My friend told me about Schönbrunn Palace. I want to go there. Great. You can customize that and do your own thing. And if you just want to go, you know what, boy, would I love to go on a trip where a whole lot of stuff is taken care of. 4-star hotel. You don't have to deal with, we'll just check in, check you out. Sit on that nice coach bus as we go to Neuschwanstein Castle or the next brewery. And you talk about Austria. In Salzburg, we're going to a beautiful brewery. 1621, the monks there were making brew at Augustinerbrau Klostermulden, and they serve it out of wooden barrels in those great ceramic mugs. Like, really, all the things that we see here that came over from Germany and Austria and the Czech Republic, we get to experience it in real time. And have you ever been to Prague?
I have not been to Prague.
City of 1,000 spires, and there's this one bridge called the Charles Bridge that has 30 sculptures of different saints. And it was built in 1300s, which is fascinating to me.
Which is really interesting, because all the places that you visit in those countries, they do go back to the mid-ages. And the history that you hear about is absolutely fascinating. And it's hard to believe that those places are still standing.
Right. And the cobblestone roads, and just to truly experience it. And with a fun group of people, I will make sure that you enjoy every moment, whether it's just relaxing or you want to be absolutely stimulated with the next cool thing. We're going to have a really good time.
And when you're in Austria, try the Wiener Schnitzel. It's the best in the world. There's no question about it. All right, Sandy, so if anybody wants to still get one of those seats left on that trip, what do they need to do?
You can pop me a note, Sandy, Sandy, at WTMJ.com. But honestly, just go to WTMJ.com. We have a section right there. Steve Bertrand Travel, 847-606-6065 is his number. Don't wait. The deadline is coming up next week. So mull it over the next couple days or even over the weekend, but come join me. And I got to tell you, I'm so happy that some of the travelers, the first two people who booked are two gals who went with me to England on our Beatles and Beyond trip. So we're going to have some fun people on this trip.
And let me tell you something. Sandy is a fabulous hostess. You really are. You're the hostess with the mostest.
And prostess.
And Sandy will be back with you next week for What's on Tap. I'm Libby Collins. Can't thank you enough for joining me the last couple of days. We had a lot of fun. Boy, I'll tell you, those two Crusher sisters, I love them. Crusher Fest. Don't forget, it's this weekend. You'll want to be there for that. And thank you to Visit Milwaukee, because What's on Tap is sponsored by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class. Discover more at visitmilwaukee.org. And thank you for listening. Coming up after the news with Sean Brinda, it's Dominic Cotroneo and Brewers Weekly right here on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2